This is episode 81 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, and today we're bringing you an amazing game by me.
Yeah, I get to put my feet up this week.
Yeah. And this week, I've told you is how this game ends, because I want to keep this one a surprise, because it was a really good game.
Yeah,
I think you'll enjoy
I'm looking
it.
forward to this. This is our Kyber round 2 match.
Yes. And I'm against I don't know how to pronounce this, I say Rawley Nuzzy.
Yeah.
He's an American, currently in Georgia.
Nice.
The Republic of Georgia, so that was interesting. We started working out the time zone difference with him at GMT -4, and by Monday he was at GMT +4. But yeah, so I'm running my contingency protocol list, and I was matched up against Nuzzy's Rebel list, and he's got an interesting one. He's got Luke with S-foils, Shattering Shot, Trick Shot, Proton Torpedoes, and an R4 Astromech. Boy Han.
Yeah, no, so that's standard Luke, isn't it? Not.
Yeah, pretty standard Luke.
Sorry, I meant not Bala Yavin Luke.
Yeah, we've got Boy Han with all that reroll and coordinating and focus into evading and rerolling goodness. And then Alexander Callis in the Ghost with an Ion Cannon, Veteran Turret Gunner, Chopper, and Magva Yarrow.
Okay, nice.
And so, to anyone who has not seen Alexander Callis in the Ghost, he's got an interesting ability. When you defend, if your opponent mods your dice, roll an extra defense dice.
Yeah, so it's if your opponent's getting good shots, you're getting a defense dice. It means you've got a chance of keeping the ghost alive longer.
Yeah. It's interesting. And obviously, Magva Yarrow, if you take damage, take a target lock. Chopper, in your perform action step, you may perform an action even while stressed. If you do, take a damage. Excellent on the Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And we're playing Assault at the Satellite Array.
So it's quite an interesting sort of matchup for that, because you've got lots of ships, but 2 of his ships count as 2 ships. So
it's interesting, because if I spread out, he wins the points. If I clump up, I win my points, but he wins more points.
Yeah.
And let's be real, droids aren't exactly the splitty-uppy faction.
I mean, I feel that is fair.
But we go into it, and obviously Assault at the Satellite Array, I have priority, and I drop my first satellite basically as far up in the middle on my opponent's side as I can, because I'm like, look, he is going to have to either leave one of his 3 ships behind to claim it, or that objective is not playing a part in this game. And he responds with, I believe he basically it put it in my bottom left corner as far as he can. I then put my one on the far right, as far up as I could. And he responded with putting one in my bottom right. So we have basically a set of 3 in the bottom right quadrant of the board, 1 in my bottom left, and 1 in the top middle of my opponent's. So no prizes for guessing where most of the fighting takes place.
Yes.
When it comes to rocks, I started putting my Pride of Mandalore rocks basically along my board edge with the intention of going past them and ignoring them, because Luke has Trick Shot and Shattering Shot, and I want no part of that. My opponent basically places his 2 rocks and a debris next to each of the objectives in the bottom right quadrant, just to try and set up trick shots and stuff like that. And then I've put my final Pride of Mandalore rock far top left, as far as I'm looking at it, in basically 2 and 2 as much as I could in the top left. So we essentially have an arrow pointing to the bottom right-hand corner of the map as I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Then deployment. So I set up my block. I set up my block of 6 because I set up everything but the flax before Alexander Callis goes down. So I put the 2 Howard Charles right on the edge of the line in the bottom right next to each other. I put DBS 32C. Basically, imagine I have two rows of 3. DBS 32C is the bottom left one. and the Howard Charles are the top middle and top right. I put 081 on the far left because the idea being like he can just bank in. If one of his ships decides to come and chase down 081, fine. I can also get away if I have to, and he's just there to try and net me a point on that far left objective occasionally. And then I put DBS 404 directly in front of 32C, so he's the top left of my little square. And then Alexander Callas goes just to the left of center on my opponent's side, basically lining up just behind the objective I placed there. Then I put my flax in bottom middle and bottom right of my formation. So I have a block of 6 ships, DFS 081 on the far left. Luke then sets up right next to Callas, and Han sets up in the top right-hand corner, facing along my opponent's board edge, basically ready to be a battleship, essentially, and just start broadsiding.
Yeah.
Because the Rebel Falcon don't need no fronts.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where we are in setup. And my plan is basically go towards the middle and shoot whichever ship presents itself. I don't know. I don't have much of a deeper plan than that. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a fine plan, so long as you can get multiple shots on one target. I don't think it hugely matters which target.
Exactly. That was my thought. And hold that thought for later, because I will have a discussion to have when I make a choice. But I will just let this go, and I'll come back at the end. I'll let the video go, and I'll come back at the end around. Sorry, it's scattering around like crazy. I've got it on fast speed. My spectator screen wasn't working in TTS for whatever reason, so I had to record my own screen. It's in top-down mode for YouTube, so hopefully I think I stay zoomed out as much as I can for this, but for dial setting, unfortunately, I cannot avoid that. And essentially, everyone in the block does a 4 straight, and DFS 081, I believe, does a 2 hard to the right, because I don't know if Luke and Alex want to just jump on him. Yeah, but my plan is get alongside that rock in my corner and just be ready to loop in. And so we let it go. We roll for priority.
Because you overlap at 4 and 5, right?
Yeah, we overlap at 4 and 5. My opponent wins priority. It doesn't matter for this round.
I mean, it doesn't often for turn 1, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter for turn 1. I asked about system phase. I don't think any of us have any system phase, so that's a fun thing that we can skip. And I start jetting forwards. So, like I said, my Howard Charles do 4 straights and calculates. And you're going to, like, 32C does a 4 straight and calculates. DFS 01 does a 2 hard and calculates. And he's either going to jet along my board edge if Callas is coming down for me, or just sit there and claim that objective. Callas does a 1 straight. And I believe he just takes a focus. So 404 does a 4 straight. And out of interest of being different, I target lock a rock. Because I'm pretty positive I don't need to calculate. And no, my opponent does not have jams. This is just to be different. Luke does a 2 straight and takes a focus. And then my flax do 4 straights. And I think they calculate. So I've got my block of 6. Yeah. Block of 6, literally next to the rock. My entire formation can hard turn in next round, depending on what Han has done, or just keep going straight. So Han does a 2 bank to the left, basically angling to go across, like diagonally across the center of the board, and keep that bow tie arc aimed at my entire list.
Yeah.
And he takes a focus evade because that ship can do that. Not that I can really complain with my flax getting it lots of calculates. But on to round 2, and this is where things get interesting. So hopefully I zoom out. So here is my plan. Is I'm not going to turn in. What I want to do is I want to try and dodge that proton torpedo that's coming.
Yeah.
So what I do is
you got to go fast.
At first, no, I'd go slow.
Oh, okay.
So at first, because I'm an idiot, the flax and the Howard Charles do 2 straights, and the bombers do a 1 straight. And then I remember that 32C is behind 404.
Yeah, that won't help.
Which means I can't do that. So 404 is going to do a 1 hard, and 32C will do a 1 straight. With the idea being that if Luke 2 banks, you'll see when I move. Is the idea being I'm pretty sure I was pretty sure I'd be able to be just out of range 3, and then next turn it's pounce time. Was the plan. And then DFS 081 is just going to 2 bank and claim an objective because 2 hard and claim an objective even because if Callus jumps after him, then fine. And then the ghost is out of position for a couple of turns. But my plan here was just to try and not be just out of range 3 so I can then jump in. And as you can see on YouTube, I'm setting my 1 straights for bombers. And luckily, right at the end, I realize, wait, there's an initiative problem. But we'll get to that shortly. As I start setting dials, because I want to try and stay out of Luke's proton range, and I think he's going to 2 bank, and if he 3 banks, and he gets me. But I think he's going to 2 bank to try and keep in line with Callus, and I'm hoping that I can just dodge his arc.
Yeah.
And you shall find out shortly what happens. So you'll see on YouTube all dials have been set, and then I go and double check, and in a second I'm going to realize that I might be about to make a huge mistake. Come on, realize. I know I realized it in game because I did it. Talking. And then I look and I think, that's not going to work. So I dial a 3 straight with 32C and a 3 straight with the bomber. And then I realize what I'm trying to do isn't actually going to work because that's not going to get me the little concave I want. So 404 will in fact actually do... I did 2 hard. Maybe I could have done a 1 hard there. I thought I did a 1 hard. We'll find out when I get to it. I'm pretty sure I do a 1 hard here. Yes, I'm changing it. God, you're going to have fun editing all the rambling out, aren't you?
Yes,
if you
yes,
can
I
bother.
am.
But then we set, and I've set up my trap. I am first player, so my entire list but the 5s goes. If I can just speed this up. Oh, I thought I'd already speed this up. Blimey. Isn't this going to be painful to watch? So the Howard Charles both do 3 straights and calculate. 081 does a 2 hard and calculates. 32C does a 2 straight and calculates. 404 does a 1 hard and calculates. And if you see, I've zoomed out. And I put it to someone because I misclicked. But you can see where I've tried to set up the concave where I think a 2 bank won't hit. And then the idea being next turn it's go time. So Callus does a 1 bank. And takes a focus. A reinforce to the front, just in case. Then the Flax do 3 straights, and I think about locks, and then I just calculate. And then Luke does a 2 bank.
All right, let's see if
checks
we pull it off.
Checks for target lock.
Oh,
oh
man,
so
that's
close,
so close,
isn't it?
Yeah.
But he does have 404 in range.
But not obstructed, so you're not getting
not obstructed, so it's just a proton torpedo.
Just a proton.
But he does take a target lock.
Oof.
Then unlucky. Ham does a 1 straight and focus evades, because why not? And then we get to start of engagement. I say I'm not going to fire my Discord missile, and the Flax have no one in bullseye. So we go to the shooting, and he has a range 3 shot into one of my Howard Charles. Now remember, here's the scary bit: is if this hits, he can coordinate Luke a focus. That means Luke gets to save his force, which is a little scary. However,
range 3 on 3.
Range 3, so 3 on 3. He rolls blank focus. He spends his focus for 2, and I roll evade focus.
Nice.
Happy days. So hand does not hit. Then we go to the Flax because I was first player, and they just don't have Han in range, which is a bit of a shame. And then obviously Luke has range 3 into 404. Fires the proton torpedo, rolls hit blank. So okay, average. That's not too bad. Changes 1 to a crit, spends the lock, gets hit focus, spends a force for 3 hits and a crit.
Okay.
I roll blank focus.
Oof.
I spend a calculate from 404 to get 1 evade, and I take hit crit, and the crit is a loose stabilizer.
That's a little unfortunate.
A little unfortunate.
I kind of feel
I
like
mean, it could have been direct hit.
I kind of feel like you want a hard turn next turn, take a lock, and try and get that APT off though.
Funny you should say that.
I mean, in your shoes, I probably would and soak up the damage.
Yeah, so Callus has no shot, and we skip through, and then I think we go, oh yeah, I won. I take my shot into Han, I roll hit focus with my Howard Charl, spend a calculate for 2 hits. Han rolls 2 blanks,
okay,
spends his evade, and then I remind him that Han can re-roll a single dice whilst he's evading.
I was just about to say that. You re-roll a blank first, then you spend it.
So I said, don't forget you can re-roll it, so he re-rolls it into a blank and takes 1 damage onto Han. So, first blood! Except, I feel like that trade went heavily my opponent's way.
Yeah.
We check range 1 for the objectives, and my opponent has 2, and I have 2. So yes, this turn for me, it's go time. It is mega turn in, so I'll let the game speed up till I've set dials. But essentially, yeah, DBS 404. Because I figured even if I did a straight maneuver and fixed the loose stabilizer, he dies.
Yeah.
Right. Like
yeah,
Luke
that's what I mean. Like,
probably shoots him.
I think like if Han or Luke shoots him, they're as likely to do 2 damage as they are to do 1.
Yeah, I think especially if I don't have a calculate.
Yeah, but my assumption is you put someone range 1 that does have a calculate.
Yeah,
I think the right call is to go for it. If he dies, he dies.
Yeah,
but if he doesn't, then you get it off, and then you kill yourself.
So the dials are set. I'm hard turning in. I'm committing. My opponent rolls 2 crits in a blank, so he has first player. So that means Luke goes before the flax.
That's good.
And the ghost goes before DBS 404. So that's it. That is a very interesting turn.
Ghost can't fall
however,
straight, right?
Pardon?
I said the ghost can't fall straight, right?
The ghost can fall straight.
Red?
No, white.
Because that would have been smack right in front of 404.
Yeah. So, what I've done with my Howard Charles is I've done 1 hard to the left just to turn in because I have a plan with the flax, and it means that the Howard Charles need to bloody well get out of the way. So they do a 1 hard and they just calculate, just sitting there being like, "We are shots."
That's not getting out of the way.
They are getting out of the way.
Okay. Sorry, I assumed when you meant that
they couldn't go faster.
No.
The reason for
what
this.
I meant was you'd like 1 hard and then barrel roll them out of the way.
Yeah, I wanted to, but I was like, but I want them here for a second because I don't want them in the way of 32C as much.
That's fair.
And I also wanted them to be near the flax for those calculate sharing. But 32C does 1 hard as well. Check for target locks, and I lock Luke because I figure he's either going down to the middle for whatever reason, or he's going around. And so my flax can get him if he goes around, and 32C and 404 can get him if he goes into the middle.
Yeah.
Then 081 does a 2-bang and calculates. He's happy claiming an objective. And then it's over to Callus, who does a 2 straight.
Okay.
And then reinforces to the front.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
404 does a 3 hard.
Oh,
it doesn't bump.
Doesn't bump. Okay.
It doesn't bump. Obviously, loose stabilizer, take a damage, and then that fixes. Whew. So, okay, here we are. Interesting. So I decided to go for it, because when you look at that, Sean, I go for the barrel roll. Because if I can dodge an arc...
You'll barrel roll into a lock, aren't you, as well?
Yeah, barrel roll into a red lock.
I mean, honestly, I think it's probably worth a try.
Yeah, so I do that, and it lands.
It lands nice.
So, into a red lock, and all of a sudden, that reinforce... Like, 404 is dying this round.
Yeah, are you straddling?
Guaranteed. Yes, I'm straddling. Okay. 404 is guaranteed dying this round, whether he shoots or not.
But he's getting a 6 dice.
But he's getting a 6 dice APT if he gets to shoot.
If he gets to... And that is the important thing.
Luke does a 1 straight.
Okay, that's interesting. He's got to barrel roll out. No, I suppose not, actually.
So he's right in front of a debris cloud right now.
But Callus would move before him, so he could hard turn...
Yeah.
Towards where Callus is.
And I believe Luke opts to target lock a Howard Charl, if I remember rightly. Yeah, so he takes a target lock, and I think he's just thinking, yeah, he had target lock to Howard Charl I think he's just like, let's just start deleting ships. So the Flax are dialing in 3 banks.
Yeah.
So this is why I'd want hard to try and get out of the way.
Yeah.
So I do a 3 bank afterburner's boost, landing me directly next to Luke at range 1. And I take target locks onto Luke.
Is that in Arc? Looks like it's close whether Luke has you.
Yeah. So I take a target lock onto Luke. The other one does the exact same thing. 3 bank, afterburner's boost, target lock onto Luke.
Because you've got the
Luke is in my bullseye, so I'm going to have target lock calculate.
Nice.
And if he stays there, maybe even a plasma later.
I'm guessing... Oh, okay. I was about to say I'm guessing Han does a straight, because I thought that would slide behind, but...
Han does a 1 bank to the right, so he's like banking behind Callus and Luke. Claiming that back objective, I think, is the interesting bit here, because he's so big.
If it's me, I think you target lock 404. But I'll be interested to see what the focus evade.
He goes for a focus evade.
Wait, no, that's fair.
So start of engagement, I get my calculates. I decline to launch a Discord missile. I just quickly check the bullseyes. And get calculates on the Flax. So we're checking all the abilities, and Han goes for range 2 into 404.
Yep. So 3 on 2.
3 on 2. He rolls hit, focus, blank, spends his focus for 2. I get 1 evade, 404 dies.
Fair. It was always a high possibility.
It's like if he got to shoot, miracle, but I wasn't surprised. So this is when triggers come in.
Contingency, yes.
Contingency and Han coordinate.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because Hannah's hit.
So you'll go player order.
Yeah. But we didn't, because I think we thought it was I think we did attacker.
No, because
actually, wait, he's first player anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
We did this right invertedly.
Because the trigger timings are the same.
Yeah.
Because it's after. Actually, no. To be fair, actually, that attack hits before you deal damage. So that's even before before you die. So that would always be first.
Yeah, but what he elects to do is he barrel rolls Luke to the left. Getting him out of that debris cloud area. Unfortunately, not out of the front arcs of the Flax, and he actually puts himself into range 1 of the flak behind, of the back flak. So if he survives, he has a much nicer next turn, but it hasn't helped him to survive. And he's out of 32 Cs arc as well. But then, so he coordinates Luke, and I get to coordinate, and I'm looking at actions. And I think I just I just give one of the Howard Charles a target lock onto Luke, because at this point I'm like, 404's dead. I need to make sure Luke dies. I would have
considered your barrel rolling the pink flak up.
So I did actually consider that. I really did think about it. But I just wasn't sure it would help me that much.
Fair.
Because in my head, because at the time I was like, well, he's locked the Howard Child, he'll go for the drone.
Maybe. I think if I had range 1 into a flak, I'd probably take that.
Probably, yeah. But either way, I'm looking at coordinations. I just give it to my back Howard Child. We take a target lock into Luke. I've got an iron missile. If it gets to I1 and Luke is still there, happy days. But 404 is dead. That's 3 points to Nuzzy, and who are 5-2. So then Luke goes. He has obstructed into DBS 32C, range 2 with a target lock into the Howard Child, and then range 1 into both of the flaks.
That's a tough call, actually. I think you take. I think I take the range 1 still, because I try and.
He goes range 1 into the flaks.
Yeah. Try and strip the calculates.
Into the pink flak. Yeah. And unfortunately for Luke, rolls blank focus crit.
Not ideal.
Spends a force for hit crit. I roll a single evade, take a crit, it's a console fire.
Okay.
I engage. I roll a damage for my console fire.
Of course, of course.
And take a damage. So the flak's taken 2 damage, not ideal, but it's range 1 time. So 4 dice into Luke from the first flak. I roll, hit, focus blank. Spend the target lock on the blank, turning it into a focus, and I spend my calculate, and I believe I reach for the Howard Charles calculate to take it from there. So that means 4 hits into Luke. Luke rolls 1 evade, 1 blank. So 3 damage into Luke from the first flag.
Okay. That's half through already.
Next flag. Range 1 into Luke. I roll crit blank, focus. Spend the target lock on the blank.
Ooh,
Turn it into a hit. Spend my calculate and the Howard Charles calculate even further behind. So there's 2 Howard Charles and 2 flaks, and we spent 4 calculates for 3 hits and a crit.
That was lucky that was a hit. I think I would have re-rolled at least one of the eyeballs.
So the reason I didn't was because I knew I had 2 calculates, so I knew I had 3.
Well, yeah. See,
so I was of the mind of take the 50-50 to have 4.
Whereas, I still think if you roll both of them, you're 50-50 to get 1 hit, and then 50-50 to get... I think you'd still be at 50-50 odds, but being able to possibly keep a calculate for that shot if he's...
Yeah.
If that makes
sense.
But
either way, Luke rolls an evade and is dead.
And is dead.
So... Turn 3, we're on course. I've traded DBS 404 for Luke Skywalker.
DBS 3 in most of a tri-fighter.
Okay, most of a tri-fighter, yes, but...
but no, I still think that's a fair
still
trade.
A good trade.
Yeah.
Alexander Callis goes into 32C. I check the bullseye of my Howard Charles. Callis is in there, so I get to take an action, so I target lock him.
Nice. That's the other Howard Charles, because obviously the other one had target. Ooh, natties.
And so Callis rolls 2 hits, 2 crits.
All right.
I roll blank. So now 32C has a damaged engine and a fuel leak.
Yeah, but I bet you're happy they weren't the other way around.
I bet I am very happy they weren't the other way around. But then we've got an ion cannon with a veteran turret gunner.
Yeah, that'll do
it. He rolls crit, focus, but he has no mods, so it's just crit. Literally, I need an evade. I get 2 evades, nice. And I kind of wish they were on the previous roll. But hey. All of a sudden, back to reality. Ouch, that one hurt. And then it's just my shots. So I go to 32C. I have range 2 into Callis. And I roll blank. DBS 081 goes range 3 into Callis. I roll crit.
Nice.
Callis actually gets a dice because it's range 3. Happy days. And he rolls a focus. So bam, 2 shields off Alex. So he uses Magva Yarrow to take a target lock onto DBS 081 because what I forgot, because I was like, oh, don't you want a target lock on the hyena? You have to deal damage for Magva to do anything. And if there's one thing 32C didn't do, it was damage.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we go on to the Howard Charles, and I have a range 3 obstructed shot into Callis, and I roll a single hit, who blanks out. Another damage into Callis. Then I have either range 3 into Han, or an ion missile into Callis, which I take, because it's obstructed, so Callis gets... Callis is getting a dice, but I was like, you know what? I want to deal damage.
Yeah.
And an ion missile is the most likely way for this guy to deal damage at the current time. So I roll hit blank and leave it at that. Because if I'd spent the lock to try and get the extra one, Callis would get an extra dice.
Yeah.
And in this result, I'm guaranteeing the 1 damage that I want to going through, because he rolls an evade, which obviously dodges the ion, but the damage goes through. Happy days.
You weren't ioning him anyway with 3 dice.
Exactly.
So...
That being said, you never know. You've got to start the ion somewhere.
Well, yeah, true.
My player decided to screw up. What's going on?
Anyway,
we check the objectives, and I have 3, and my opponent has 2. So I'm currently up 11-7, turn 3. And I think objectively here, I don't. This is where I guess I make my big mistake. But I don't know how much of it is a mistake in the moment or just a mistake in hindsight based on how it's gone. Because I'm gonna jump on Han.
I'm not sure that's a mistake.
And my reasoning is this.
But it depends on...
One of the flaks can get onto Callus. The other flak can't really. Like one hard, I probably doesn't hit the debris, but I was assuming that Callus was either doing like a one straight or a stop or something.
Oh, see, my assumption looking at that is a 4K.
Yeah, so he's going to do a 4K. I basically didn't. I just didn't think he would do a 4K.
A 4K puts you on that bottom objective and then starts getting you back into the fight.
Yeah, and then he can start taking actions.
Yeah, like my issue with jumping on Han is getting the vultures and the bomber over there.
The bomber can get onto Han. 4 straight barrel roll, target lock Han.
So long as Han banks round.
Yeah.
But the vultures can't really.
Yeah, the 2 vultures have difficulty, but they can also just grab me objectives. So I was like, I can get 4 ships onto one of his, and I didn't think I could get many ships onto Callus.
That's fair.
So this is what I do. So the vultures literally, they're just going to move forward. I asked to quickly mark the ship so I can, because I'm in top down mode, just so I can see where the edge of his base is. Because I was like, oh, can my vulture clear that rock without having to strut? So no, he absolutely cannot. So I basically elect to move forwards, try and get guns onto Han with the assumption that Callus, I thought he was either going to stop or just move slowly into the center. I just completely forgot that the 4K existed, effectively, or like I knew it existed, but it as an option didn't appear to me. If that makes sense. And I was also thinking 081 can line up a shot onto Han. The Tri-Fighter can line up a shot onto Han. The Bomber can line up a shot onto Han. I think now might be the time. And I was also going to try and block Han with the lead Tri-Fighter. But I get first player. It doesn't actually matter anymore. There is no overlap.
No.
But my Howard Child stopped moving. So I flip the strut lock override on the first Howard Child, go straight onto the debris, barrel roll to the left, and link it to a calculate. I think. Do I link it to a calculate or do I not? No, it's because I think he's going to bump into me. So I don't want to take the red calculate because I figure he's going to bump into me and it'll be all right. That's literally what I was thinking. So the other Howard Child tentatively flips the strut lock because I thought I was going to end up on the debris. I do. I try to barrel roll to the left, but can't quite get behind 32C.
Ooh.
So he's on the debris. He's not shooting. I'm not particularly worried about that one.
Like, you're not taking any damage because of the strut lock override, but
yeah. And next turn I can just move off it for free.
Yeah.
So then 32C, I believe I do a 3 straight here. I flip the strut lock because I was like, oh, maybe I'll go too far enough. I don't. And I elect to calculate. And then yes, here we go. This is mini mistake number 1. I elect to calculate and use 32C's ability to jam Alexander Callus.
Why?
This is a mistake.
Why is that a mistake?
Because I have forgotten that because DFS 081 shot and hit Callus has a lock thanks to Mag the Yarrow. In my defense, my opponent also forgot this for the next minute. So what's actually happens here is the lock goes on. I don't, because what I was trying to do was spike the red focus I thought he was going to get by bumping into me. But what I actually do is I just clear the lock.
I mean, that's
on someone who I have no intention of being anywhere near him.
But let's be fair, it's effectively a free action, and you know.
Oh yeah, it's not like a major oh my god I've ruined it, but it was like darn my thinking was a little skewed. Because I was like, oh, I'll do the 3 straight just to make sure I'm at range 1 of him so I can jam him. That way I'll block him. He won't be able to take the red focus. Happy days. 081 does a 2 straight into the center of the board, and then I barrel to the left and link it to a calculate because I'm just trying to line up blocks on where to hand. And then Callus ruins my day by doing a 4K.
Yeah, and that's not where you want a vulture droid.
And that is not where I want a Vulture droid who chose not to take a calculate.
In fact, he can just shoot your bomber, then shoot your Vulture. Nice double tap.
So we get to this point where he's like, "Oh, I'll get 4K, get stressed." And I was like, "Oh, I think I'll chop her." I was like, "Oh, wait, no, I'm jammed." And then we're like, "Wait, no, didn't he have a lock?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, you did." So the lock's broken, the jam's gone.
What does chopper do?
You can take an action even while stressed, and you'll perform an action step. So he's done a 4K, gets
Really?
a stress. He's going to do an action for a damage.
Oh, fair. All right.
Yeah. So what he does, I believe, is he he target locks the Howard Child in front of him. My very badly damaged flak does a 5 straight, and I fix my console fire. Then my other flak does a 3 straight, and I believe, what do I do here? I can't remember. I think I just calculate because I'm not sure where Han is going.
Good. You need some calculators on the board.
Yeah, and Han does a 1 bank. Perfect. Because he's in the bullseye of both of my flaks. Sorry, 2 bank to the left. Perfect. He's in the bullseye of both of my flaks. And if he wants to boost away, fine. His arc isn't pointed at my list.
Yeah.
And I believe he just focus evades, because that's what Boy Han does.
Please tell me you launch a Discord.
Yeah, I launch a Discord.
Cool.
And as a hindsight mistake, which means it's not really a mistake, shouldn't have launched the Discord.
Really? Oh,
yeah. This is pure hindsight. This is only a mistake because of what's about to happen.
I would have launched the Discord because looking at that, I think you probably stripped the shields from Han.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
Oh God!
You'd really think.
You've got like a range 1 3-dice shot, a range 1 4-dice shot, and probably range maybe 3. But I mean, I know he's got the mods, but
I launched the Discord. Obviously, it lands onto Han. I put it on the front, and I'm like, sweet. It's pretty tricky for Han to get it off. So Han elects to shoot range 1 into my 1 health flak.
Oh God, he's going to kill it, isn't he?
He rolls 2 hits, 2 crits.
Oh,
so the flak is dead.
Oh, that's nasty.
I get a single evade. So even on average dies, the flak was dying, right? It is what it is.
Fair.
So the flak takes hit crit. Fuel is hit. I think it's hit crit. First as a fuel leak, then a direct hit, then 2 extra damage. So flak sitting on like lovely 7 damage cards. But contingency protocol. It's all right. It's all right. We're not over yet. Contingency protocol. I can see where this
DBS.
You got DBS 32C barrel rolls and target locks Han.
And then he's going to die to Callus, isn't he? Oh, I can see this now. No, okay.
He doesn't die to Callus.
That's a bonus.
He barrel rolls and target locks. Nicely get it. I don't know if I was range 1 of Callus, but if I was, I'm now out of range 1 of Callus. I'm definitely in the center. I've got a target lock and a calculate with a plasma torpedo onto Han Solo. Flak 2 is dead though. Flak 1, range 2 into Han. Rolls hit, focus, blank, and I spend a calculate for 2. And Han gets an evade.
Okay.
So 1 damage into Han. Then Callus shoots. He has lots of options. He takes the range 1 shot into the Howard Child. He rolls crit, hit, focus, blank, blank. Spends the lock on the focus, blank, blank into another crit and another hit. So that's 2 hits, 2 crits into my Howard Child.
So you need natties to survive.
I roll evade focus.
You might be able to steal.
I steal from DBS 32C to get 2 evades.
I'm not sure if I would there.
Crit, fuel leak, then wounded pilot dead.
And that's why I'm not sure. Like a fuel leak or a direct. I think having the better plasma.
Yes, you're right.
But again, that's hindsight. It is admittedly hindsight.
Yeah, like it's the reason yes, you're right technically, but the reason I wanted to do this was because, with 2 Howard Charles there, I might be contesting that bottom one with 2. And more importantly, if that Howard Charles survives the first hit, maybe he's tempted to shoot it with the ion cannon instead of shooting 32C.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why I was like, I will take the chance of life. Also, contingency protocol.
Well, you can't do 32C, right? Because he's done every single action.
Yes, he's done every single action in his bar.
Vulture take
contingency protocol. I'm like, crap. Not really.
Can't get the Vulture
anyone.
for the lock. Tri-fighter take a lock.
I think I take the lock with a Tri-fighter or the lock with the Howard Child. Yeah, I go for the Tri-fighter. Oh wait, no, I think I barrel roll or boost or something, trying to just get in range of that top objective. But no, not quite. So the iron cannon into 32C rolls focus, focus, hit. I roll blank focus, spend the calculate from the last flak to survive.
Nice.
Then 32C fires a plasma torpedo into Han Solo. Rolls 3 blanks. Spends the lock though, don't worry. Into 2 blanks and a hit.
He's gonna evade it, isn't he?
Well, he has an evade token, Sean.
Oh god. Oh.
But he rolls an evade anyway.
Oh man.
So DFS 081, the hero, range 1 into Han. Blank focus focus.
Oh man. That was not a good round of engaging.
So this is what I meant by, in hindsight, getting everyone on Han wasn't the greatest idea.
I mean, yes and no.
But I also don't think I was wrong.
No, like, I wonder if going slower with pink, certainly, so that you were... I know you're going for the block, but I actually think maybe aiming for range 2, edging into range 3 would have been better for you, because you just need to plink those ones.
I think you're right. But it is still funny. Then I go to my Howard Child on the debris, who has no shot.
Okay.
So I have 2 objectives, and my opponent has 1, so it's 13-13.
Okay. You've got half an hour left on the clock by the looks of it.
And you know what the score at the end of the game is?
No, I don't. I didn't look.
Oh, don't you?
And you've gone up to 14.
Okay, cool. No, my opponent has gone up to 14.
Oh, your opponent.
Oh, wait, he must have not added the points when I paused it. 14-13. So I'm like, well, crap.
The problem is, I think you now struggle to kill stuff.
So, actually, I come to the conclusion that I need to get on the Ghost. After that round of shooting, I decided that, Han, I wasn't going to kill Han. If I'd broken the shields and the thing and the Discord had started putting crits in, maybe I'd have continued chasing Han down with the flak. But what I actually decide that the Ghost, I can get 3 of my ships potentially shooting at it this turn.
I think you can get all 4 shooting at it. All right, one might be...
No, the problem is 32C is stressed.
Too hard.
And has a damage engine.
Oh, okay, and has 1 health. All right, fair. The damage engine will...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So what I do with 32C is I choose death, essentially. I just you know what? I'll do a 2 straight. If I live, I live. And I do a fast straight. If Han does a 1 straight, maybe I block him. If I live, I live. I have the center. Everyone else is trying to turn in onto the Ghost. The flak is going to do a 1 hard to the left. The Howard Child on the debris will do a 2 hard to the left, trying to get in front of the Ghost. And DFS 081 will do a 2 hard with the intention of trying to either calculate or just barrel roll in front to shoot at the Ghost.
Yeah.
And then 32C, I just accept that he's probably dying because he can't. He just needs another turn. If he can turn around, he can turn around. But I think Han kills him.
Yeah, especially if Han just does a straight maneuver.
Yeah, like I said, I do a 3 straight. Just if Han does a 1 bank, it might bump. Literally, is my only thought there. I just wanted to make sure he gets out of the way of the flak and DFS 081 because those are the guys who are actually going to be doing it. Maybe I should have turned up and just tried to get away.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should have turned up and tried to get to that top objective.
2 hard up.
I think at that point I should do a 3 hard and accept that.
Isn't that white?
Oh, that'll be red.
Red,
too hard. Just too hard to get me past the flak.
I don't know. Not past it, but maybe enough that the flak comes past you.
Yeah, I think. I think it would have been difficult.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. But either way, my opponent has first player. Again, it doesn't matter. So the Howard Child, 2 hard off the debris, and I believe I barrel roll calculate. Or no, what do I do? No, I just calculate because I'm like, haha, I will block you. 3 straight from DBS 32C, clear the stress. Then, because I'm not confident that my 2 hard of DVS 081 will go through, I just barrel to the left and link it to a target lock on Han.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Like, if I live, I live. I got nothing else. So yeah, 2 hard from 081, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that would have bumped.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I clear the stress, and I believe I just take a calculate here. Because, again, I'm near 32C. Maybe 32C lives with a calculate. Who knows? Then Callus does a 1 straight and bumps.
I think I might have barrel rolled to the left with 081.
Yeah, see, the thing is, the flak is about to do a 1 hard.
1 hard, yeah, of course. Sorry, I forgot that. Yeah, that's
so I'm just making sure I'm not in the way of the flak. So Callus does a 2 straight, bumps, takes a red focus. The flak does a 1 hard. And I believe I barrel roll to the left and link it to a calculate. No, evade, which is white thanks to evasion sequence 7. Luckily so. Han does a 3 bank.
Nice.
So 32C is very dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
Takes a focus evade, I do believe. As Han does. This Han is good, by the way. Whichever people aren't using him are really sleeping on him. He's really obnoxious. So he shoots into 32C.
That focus evade with the title for the rerolls means you've effectively got 3 attempts or 2 attempts and a guarantee at getting an evade.
He's a TIE defender that doesn't need to do a 3-speed maneuver.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Han rolls, hit, crit.
Bye.
So I rolled double evade, but it doesn't matter. I take the crit, fuel leak triggers, it's a structural damage. DBS 32C is dead. Contingency protocol. The flak will boost and link it to a calculate.
Okay.
Because, again, in my head, the win condition is Callus dies. So I boost and link it to a calculate. So now I've got a range 1 flak shot into Alexander.
Yeah. Problem is, he's got a range 1 shot back at you.
Yes, this is the problem. But I'm like, the way I currently see it, I'm going to lose anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. You just go
maybe I can put something nasty through onto Alex. I just need to throw as much dice as I can because even if the flak dies, okay, if the flak dies, I just straight lose. Actually, no. If the flak dies and Callus dies, I win. Or no, it's a draw. Sorry, because it will currently go to 22-22.
Yeah.
So again, I'm just at the point where Callus must die if I'm to have a chance. So it doesn't matter what else happens. Range 1 into Callus with the flak, and I yell out loud, "Flak! I need you to natty!" And so he rolls 3 hits and a crit.
Well, so it's about time. Han's been doing it all evening.
So 3 damage cards and a crit. Sorry, 4 damage. 4 damage cards? Oh, he already had 1. 4 damage cards and a crit, which is a blinded pilot.
Oh, that's useful.
Which is huge.
Because he's got a focus, hasn't he? So
yeah. So the focus is now useless. So that's huge. So Callus, range 1 into the flak. 5 dice into my flak. Ready for this to backfire. It takes the target lock with Mag the Yarrow. Not that it matters because of the blinded pilot. But this could have hurt if that wasn't a blinded pilot. And it hurts anyway, because he rolls 4 hits and a focus.
Dang, that's some good reds.
I roll blank focus. So I spend my evade and my calculate for 2, and I take 2 hits. Flak is alive. Here comes the ion cannon.
Into the flak.
Into the flak. Rolls, hit, focus, blank. So I'm like, okay, dice.
You just need paint.
Literally anything. And there is evade, focus. So my flak does survive the Alexander shot. We go to 081, who has range 3 into Callus. I roll 2 hits out of hand.
Nice.
Callus rolls an evade, so that's 1 more damage into Alexander.
So he's taken 6.
And then the Howard Charles. Yeah, I've done 6 so far. Howard Charles, range 0 into Callus. rolls hit focus. So that's another damage into Callus. That's a 7, so I need 3. I need 3 damage, and here is the problem. So here is the decision turn, Sean.
Okay.
Because this is like here is my biggest mistake is I I dial in a 3 straight with the flak.
Why?
Aiming to jump over Callus and live.
I think if it's me,
I should have done.
I don't know the dials, but I would have moved left.
Yeah. Here's what I should have done, and this is absolute hindsight. But this is after I look back. It's like actually this is the way I win. I should have dialed in a 2 straight and hoped for the bump.
I mean, yeah. My thinking is you dial into the left. What are the? You don't have blue bags.
Blues are 2 hard and 3 hard.
I mean, I think I dial in a 2 hard. Maybe that hits the debris.
Yeah. So
to be sure, I think I dial in a 3 bank because maybe you get range 1 of that objective.
Yeah. So what I did is I dialed in a 3 straight, trying to jump over Callus because I knew Callus was going to move, and that would get me the back objective. I'm going to 2 Talon the Howard Child just to try and get a gun on Callus.
Yeah.
And DFS 081 is going to 2 bank through the rock and barrel roll up behind the flak.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just like, must get guns on Callus. So Callus is currently holding 1 objective. I have 2 ships on 1 objective, and Han is on 1 objective. So it's 2-1. So it's 19-14.
Okay.
We are coming into the end game here.
Because like Han's maybe a 2 hard fits for Han.
So we'll get to Han in a second because we actually have a pretty interesting discussion.
That rock's like slightly irritating. He can't just do a bank round.
Yeah. So I in my head, I'm like, I need to try and get as many shots into Callus as possible, and I absolutely should have made sure the flak could shoot somehow, and it is doing just a 2 straight. Hope that Callus has bumped into the flak on his move, and I get a range 0 shot because 3 dice into 0.
Yeah.
Again, I need 3, but maybe. Like, and that's all I got. But I don't. So the Howard Child does a Talon roll. Once we roll for priority. I believe I can't remember who wins. It doesn't matter. There is nothing that matters. Meanwhile, by the way, guys, the Discord missile has been critting Han as we go along. He's almost out of shields. I win first player. The Howard Child does a 2 Talon to the right. Lands of stress, and again, just hope. No, I wanted forwards for a very specific reason.
Just try and get range 1.
Just range 1, and I just wanted as many possible bump avenues as possible.
Fair. I was just thinking for the wider arc. Yeah. That was all, just in case he does something unexpected.
So DFS 081 flips a strut override, 2 banks over the center rock, barrels up, and links it to a calculate. So he's dead center. Callus does a 4 straight and bumps into. I believe it ends up bumping into the vulture.
Yeah.
So here's where it gets interesting. So he does wonder, should he have choppered here?
I think you do.
Because he was going to chopper a reinforce. But remember, chopper would damage him.
Yeah, I would chopper, but I think I chopper something to try and kill DFS. Whether it's
blinded pilot.
Good point.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So here's the thing. So because he elects not to chopper, and so here's the reason for not choppering is he has a range 1 primary and then a range 1
turret. So
turret.
He might nat his
into
way
DFS 081.
Yeah.
So a reinforce to the front would only help against the guy he's probably going to kill.
Yeah. How Charles straddling.
And the Howard Child is straddling, so taking a damage when I currently need 3.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
yeah.
Because
like the damage that the reinforce would prevent is being dealt to him by chopper.
Yeah, that's true.
So he doesn't do anything. He just says, "We accept fate." Yeah, the blinded pilot really messed up with Callus this game. Thank you, Flack. And this is where I was semi-regretting having linked it to the calculate, but I feel I needed the calculate to just have a chance of surviving last turn with the Flack.
So. Yeah.
Because the Flack really wants to 3k.
Yeah.
I can tell you that much. I do a 3 straight. I clear the stress. And I take a calculate because then the Howard Charles has something to mod with.
The issue with that is I don't think that Howard Charles is range 1. And
of what?
The objective.
So do you want to know a fun fact?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. This is a spoiler for him. The Howard Charles is range 1 of that middle objective.
Oh, okay, well, it must be range 1 of the...
Yeah.
Still. Yeah, okay, fair.
Yeah. Fun fact. I found out that the Howard Charles is actually range 1 of that middle objective. And had this gone my way, spoiler alert, guys, I would have won by 1 point.
Okay.
So, Han does a 2 sloop. Because he was looking at that and he wasn't sure if the 2 hard make it. At the end of the game, we test it.
The Rebel Falcon
the 2 hard lands on the rock. 3 sloop.
I was going to say, unless it got seriously upgraded when Ray got hold of it.
Yeah. Sorry, it does a 3 sloop, clears the rock. The droid is on its front. It's claiming an objective. At the end of the game, we actually tested it. A 2 hard lands on that rock.
Yeah, I looked at it and thought...
A 3 hard completely clears.
But goes through?
Nope.
Oh, really?
Doesn't
goes
even go through.
Back.
Completely clears.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But that's the power of hindsight, right?
Well, yeah.
But yeah, interesting fact from where the 3 hard was completely fine. The 2 hard literally landed on it, which was not because we thought, well, it's just going to land further and we'll have landed on it. No, 3 hard just goes completely underneath the rock.
Fair.
Gets a stress. Has no shot. Flack has no shot.
DFS dies, right?
So.
Range 1 primary, range 1 ion.
Range 1 primary into DFS 081. 3 hits, 2 focuses. I roll a single focus and a single blank. So I spend my calculate for 1. Take 2. Iron cannon, 3 hits. DFS is dead.
I mean, realistically, it's probably about expected.
Oh yeah, no, that's statistical. What I wanted on that first one was him to have was me to have gotten some evades and him to have rolled a crit, so I could trigger DFS 01's ability.
Yeah.
But that's not how it went. Contingency protocol. The Howard Charles takes a target lock.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've got to take a target. You've got a double modded range 1 shot.
Double modded range 1 shots into a ghost. Here's the problem, Sean.
It's a calculate. Not
if
a
I
focus.
mod the dice, Callus rolls the dice.
Yeah, of course.
So I look at that. I need 3.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the final shot of the game. He's already won for killing.
Well, no, because if you kill him, you draw, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. No. If I kill him,
you win. Yeah. So only natties will guarantee it. So
I roll blank focus.
All right. I mean, you have to go for the mod and hope he doesn't roll.
So I re-roll all 3.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. With 1 calculate available, I think that's the right call.
Because Nazi said maybe you should have left one of the focuses, and I was like, no, I think actually re-rolling all of them, because I came to the conclusion in the moment, like, okay, I'm now modding dice. I need crits.
Yeah. You need, but not only do you need crits, you need 3 results.
I need 3 results, because I only have 1 calculate.
And so each dice is 50-50 for paint, and for paint for a hit or a crit.
Yeah.
But if you don't roll a focus, you're guaranteeing that one isn't one of the results you want.
So I re-roll all 3 into crit hit blank.
So you're looking.
He rolls a focus.
So you're looking for a direct.
So looking for a direct hit right here, right now. Hit, crit, loose stabilizer.
Dang.
And that is game.
And that is game.
And that is game. So to round it all out, and you can see me, I start pinging that damn blank. So yeah, we chat a little bit, but we do check the objectives in a second, and yeah, so the Howard Child is actually contesting that middle objective. So if Callus had died, I would win by 1 point.
Well, wouldn't you win by 2 points? Because you'd get. Oh no, because you'd win by 2 points because you're getting that.
I'd get
one
2, and Han gets 1.
Yeah, but oh yeah, of course, Han gets
But I'd go up to 21 with killing Callus,
so
and then I'd get 2 and Han gets 1.
23, 22.
Yeah. As it is though, Callus has 3 objectives.
Fair.
So no, he has 2 objectives. I think we're tied for that bottom one, but yeah, he has 2 objectives. We're tied for the bottom one, and Han has 1 objective. The Discord missile did take off the last shield of Han.
So yeah, like I think for me, watching that back, when you decided to jump on Han, would have been the turn I jumped on the Ghost. Like I know it's more difficult, but I think that the no defense dice or the one if you mod, but Han, until you play him and realize how deceptively tanky that one evade dice is, because it's almost guaranteed to be an evade.
Like I said, I think that was my biggest mistake. At the same time, it feels like more of a mistake, I think, because it just went so badly for me.
Yeah, but I think that if you'd not, I think you lose less ships because you can start putting damage through. You know, if you've still got that blinded pilot and you've got the other flak and stuff, then the turn after you can continue to punch into him and you probably kill him. And then you've got a lot more ships to either deal with Han or, quite frankly, just run the objective game.
Yeah, what I should have done, because the reason I didn't was because I was like, oh, that back flak, I'm not sure how I get his gun on the Ghost. And so I was like, well, if I can't get both flaks on the Ghost, let's get both flaks on the thing.
Honestly, I think I would have won.
But looking back, I think I just did. No, I should have just one-hearted, barreled out and evaded and accepted that's where I was.
Yeah.
Because chances are someone would have died and given him a target lock.
Yeah.
Like when it comes down to it. But yeah, I think I basically baited myself into thinking like, oh, I can land a Discord missile on Han with like pretty reliable. Let's see if I can burn through the shields and go.
See, like the funny thing is, I still probably would have done what you did with DFS and gone up there, try and land that Discord on Han because he hasn't really got a way of shaking it, and then sort of shot off behind him up towards the top objective.
Yeah. I think because I think I just I wrote off a couple of my ships as well. Like I wrote off 32C because I didn't see a way to get him out of the way of my plan.
Yeah,
and also in a good position. But no, this was a really fun game, and the score was 24-14 in the end, but it felt a lot closer.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that. My round 2 was like
that. But yeah, no, Alexander Callus, like his ability is like kind of clutch.
It does make a difference, doesn't it? All of a sudden, you're rolling.
It's one of those things. Like it's like you read it, and it's like, oh, 1 dice. It's like, yeah, 1 dice when you would have 0. That's a 100% increase.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, quick roundup after the soaring heights of going 3-0 round 1. The Ahoy from the Mines have come crashing back down with an 0-3. So
yeah, it's fine. We took a deep breath and now we're submarining.
Yeah, exactly. All but 2 of the 4-1 should make cut, so we're fine. We can play. We can play the other teams next week and ruin their chances.
Yeah. But on another note, I'm convinced. I like this list. I think I probably will take it to STO.
Like I've played against it. I've watched you play it. It's good, and the contingency catches people out.
Yeah,
you're just not expecting those actions halfway through the engagement phase.
Yeah, and the thing that's making me really appreciate the flaks, and I'm sort of like, I'm glad that the Tri-Fighter, I feel like it has a profile that is as dangerous as the ship is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because it's like quite easy to get double modded flak shot.
In this list, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And it's nice. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's nice that because before the problem was they're a bit more too expensive, and the entire droid swarm used to like sitting on rocks, and TIE fighters couldn't do that. Now this list doesn't sit on rocks. Okay, yeah, the flaks can't go through rocks, and everyone else can, but you can like plan around it. There's no stop start. Like there's no awkward stop start where the TIE fighters go on and the hyenas go like, well, hold on, we're stopping here for a moment.
Yeah. Yeah. No, interesting game. No, good to look at.
This was an interesting game. I'm going to maintain that I think I should have just two-straighted the Tri-Fighter and hoped to get a range 0. And if he range 0'd me back and killed me, then he killed me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because the range 0, it's still 3-on-0.
Yeah.
You're both unmodded, but 3-on-0 is better than 0-on-0.
Yeah. And the 4-on-3 bag, where I might have a mod because I would have a couple of calculates. Okay, I'd be on 1 health, but I might live.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think there were many mistakes. I think going after Han is the biggest mistake. In the moment I thought it was the best option because in that exact moment I didn't see a way to get tons of my ships shooting the ghost because I knew they had a 4K, but I just didn't think he would do it. Like for whatever reason, it just didn't seem like an option. I just thought he would stop.
It's funny though because we had this discussion like when you and I play, and you're like, "Oh, well, that." I saw that as the obvious maneuver, and I'm like, "Well, I didn't even clock that." And like, as I said earlier, like when he moved there, I was like, "Oh, well, that just screams a 4K to me."
Yeah, to me, I thought it was just gonna be a stop, and that way he just clogs up my entire list.
Well, because the way I was looking at it is your list didn't really have much option but to go where it did, and a 4K puts him behind that. So
yeah. But there we are.
Yeah. No, interesting. We'll see how we go for the rest of Kyber.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. This is a fun list to fly against. Went from the highest highs of traded 404 and half a flak for Luke to whoops, everyone's dead.
I'm lucky. I've had fun games. If anybody does want to have a sneaky look at my round 2, I was playing Nick from the Firecast crew and on Scott's Exile's stream. So if you guys happen to be subscribers, go check that out. It was a fun game, really fun game. But on that note, I think we better wrap it up for this week as we've nattered on for a bit.
We have nattered on for quite a bit. Well, I've nattered on for ages. Have fun editing my garbling.
Well, I mean, the YouTube video doesn't get unedited; it goes up unedited, so that's nice and easy.
Yeah. So YouTube, enjoy my garbling.
Yeah.
I hope it was coherent. It probably wasn't.
And on Sam's lack of coherency, we'll call it there for this week. We'll see you guys next week.
Ta-ta.
Bye.